applicants in Germany, they're concerned about this one thing. They ask me this all the time. They're like, hey Max, if you switch jobs too fast, is it bad? What the recruiters gonna think, the hiring managers, they're gonna ask me questions, they're not gonna understand the reason. Look, from experience, they don't care. If you're a nice person, if you're culture fit, if you're qualified, you're sitting in an interview, yeah, they might ask the question, why you want to switch now, why to this area that has nothing to do with your previous job. And you can be like, hey, I realize that's what I want to do, or that's where my experience lies, blah, 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 blah. And you can always find a plausible reason. Let's say you want to switch to tech sales, which you maybe worked at or maybe didn't. If you worked, you can say, hey, back to the roots, blah, blah, blah. If you didn't, you can be like, hey, I want to be closer to the business, closer to the impact, closer to the place where my own effort can actually skyrocket the revenue for the company and also my salary, which they're gonna like, because in sales, they want to work your ass, so you make the profits. Let's say you're switching from consulting to a business function. You'll be like, yeah, why are you switching? Why are you switching so fast? Have you learned enough in consulting? You'll be like, yeah, I saw different parts of the business on the surface. I now want to go in depth. I saw enough to know which function I really want to go deeper in. Boom, this is the function. And honestly, it usually stops right there. They know their motivation, they understand. They're like, okay, fine, this guy knows why he's switching, and nothing wrong to switch. Because look, if they're interviewing you and they're happy, they're not worried about this, that you're leaving your old company. Or another final example, let's say you're switching from sales into marketing. They're like, hey, why are you switching, especially after such a short time? We're like, hey, in sales, had a lot of direct contact to customers, really understood what the customers want, what their issues are, what their priorities are. Now I want to do it at a large scale, I want to market through funnels, kind of hinting that marketing is better than sales. And every marketing hire manager, they probably do think that marketing is superior to sales. They're gonna like this talk. So yeah, just have a plausible reason to explain to them, but don't need to overthink it. They don't care about it too much as long as you have an argument.